Welcome to the Unfuck Your Relationships podcast, the podcast where we are not just unfucking your love life, but unfucking your relationship to yourself and your entire life. Around here, we raise your standards, we break patterns, we upgrade your self-concept. We are talking about boundaries, money, shadow work, your relationship to your body, sex, all of it. We are covering your entire life, baby. Think of this podcast as like big sister energy where I am no fluff, no bullshit, but I am also very open with my heart and I'm going to share all of me with you, and that will be able to transform your entire life through you listening to this podcast. So if you are ready to stop settling for the bare minimum and actually be the woman that you can wake up in the morning and be proud of, you are in the right place. Let's get into today's episode. Hello, my loves. Welcome back to the Unfuck Your Relationships podcast. I'm your host, Michelle Panning, and this is episode 232, and happy motherfucking New Year! It is 2026. I'm so excited. Okay, well, technically at the time of recording this, this is the 17th of December, 2025, but I am anchoring into the vibes of 2026. I'm anchoring into all the juicy yumminess that is the year one. So I said in a couple of episodes back, 1 or 2 episodes ago, I was talking about how 2025 was a year 9 in numerology. So that is the year of completion, which is what the last week's, well, I guess it was also last year, but last week's episode was around this energy of like, let's complete 2025. Let's talk about the energy of completion. Now we're talking about like the energy of like newness and aliveness, which is a year 1, which is rebirth and fresh and new and, creation. And I'm just very, very, very excited about this year because so much has happened in the last 9 years. I'm sure you can look back at where you were 9 years ago, 8 years ago, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Like all of those things have led you to this point, which is very cool. So today I want to talk about 26 lessons for 2026. These are the things that I'm going to like live by, swear by. So I want to take you through them one by one. So let's get into it. And I've kind of broken them up into categories. So you'll see little themes. So the first one is that discipline beats motivation every single time. I'm not relying on motivation to get me to do shit, because otherwise I will sit on my couch and watch Netflix for all of eternity. I really will. Between Netflix, Disney, and HBO, your girl's set. And now Real Housewives is out, Beverly Hills. Like, your girl will never leave the couch if I was relying on motivation. Okay? So discipline beats motivation every single time. And that means doing shit that you don't want to do when you don't want to do it. When you're tired, when it's hard, when it's raining, when you would rather like cross your arms and just shut up and shut down and like, or you want to throw a tantrum. Discipline beats motivation. You're not going to feel motivated to do the difficult things. You're not going to feel motivated to do an embodiment practice. You're not going to feel motivated to actually implement the things that I talk about on the podcast. But if you are dead serious about changing your life, you'll be disciplined enough to do it. Number 2, if it is not sustainable, it's not aligned. So for instance, and I talk a lot about health, and you might be like, bitch, this is a relationship podcast. Can you please talk about relationships? Yes, I'm talking about my relationship to my health because this is like the number one thing that I want to work on in 2026. So if I'm going from, not that I wasn't working out at all, but let's just say I got 500 steps a day and didn't work out ever, and I was eating 4,000 calories a day of junk food. Let's just say that was my starting point, okay? It's not, but let's just say that it was. If I'm like, great, now I'm going to eat 1,200 calories, I'm going to get 20,000 steps a day, and I'm going to work out 7 days a week. Do you think that I would fucking keep that up? No. So if it's not sustainable, it's not aligned. And I think this is also where a lot of people get tripped up in relationships because they give their absolute best in the relationship, but they're over giving. They completely abandon their own personal individuality in their own life. And then they're over giving. And then 2, 3, 4, 6 months in, they're like, fuck, I can't keep that up. And it's because it wasn't sustainable in the first place. It's not sustainable to give without actually taking time to replenish. So if it's not sustainable, it's not aligned. Number 3, I don't negotiate with my standards when I'm tired or PMSing or on my period or hungry or whatever. And this is something I'm still implementing because fuck me, food noise is real. But it's like we negotiate with our standards. We say that we're going to do something. We say that we're going to have a difficult conversation. We say that we're going to do the embodiment practice. We say that we're going to do the coursework. We say that we're going to implement from the podcast. We say that we're going to go for a walk. We say that we're going to go to the gym. And then the second that we're like, I'm tired, we don't do it. And that is where you are going to get tripped up, because if you skip it one time, that's not the make or break. But if you skip that multiple times a week over the course of a year, you fucked it. You fucked the whole year. And then you've just cemented the idea that you actually can't trust yourself. And that is what I actually want to save you from, because self-trust means I don't care if I'm tired, PMSing, on my period, hungry, whatever, I'm following through with the things that I said that I'm going to do. Now, in saying that, you get to adjust, right? So for instance, I'm day 1 of my bleed today. Guess who's here recording 4 episodes for the podcast for you guys? I wasn't like, oh, I can't. I just need to be in bed resting. Guess who's also going to reformer Pilates later today? Me. I want you guys to build self-trust. And that is how we build that over time, of being unwilling to negotiate with our standards, no matter what is going on. So like I was saying with, reformer Pilates, but like day 2 tomorrow when I'm doing glutes and quads, I think, I'm just going to go a little bit lighter on my weights, right? So like, I'm not going to push myself. I'm still going to push myself, but like, it might not be at the same intensity of when I'm, in my follicular phase or I'm ovulating, but I'm still fucking going. Number 4, consistency is sexier than intensity. Okay. So it is tempting to, especially in the new year, be like, go, 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 all guns blazing. I'm going to heal my relationships, and I'm going to heal my relationship with my body, and I'm going to start a business, and I'm going to make 7 figures, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that. And and it's like firing on all cylinders, fucking awesome, but also probably not sustainable. So pick something that you can actually be consistent with. So last year, when I was, 2024, I went through a very, very, very intense depression, and I could barely get out of bed. And so rather than me saying, okay, I know that getting outside and getting my steps is going to be so healthy for me and it's going to help, rather than saying I'm going to go get 10,000 steps, I was like, I'm just going to walk to the end of the fucking driveway, and then if I want to walk back, I can. And every time I would end up going for like 20, 30, 40 minutes, an hour. But I just gave myself like, all you have to do is just get out of the house and go walk. That's it. Just be consistent with that. So consistency is sexier than intensity. And even think about that in a relationship context as well, where a guy could show up for you in the beginning and it's like love bombing and it's super intense and like, oh my God, I've never met anyone like you. And then it dies off really, really quickly. It's like if you were to add gasoline onto a fire, it's going to like really intensely have this massive fire, but it's going to die down very quickly, right? Versus when you actually can like have consistency with a man, that is fucking sexy, and that slow burn is going to make all the difference. Number 5, keeping promises to yourself before anyone else. This is not a license to be a shit partner, a shit friend. I see this all the time in the personal development industry where people are like, you get a boundary, you get a boundary, you get a boundary, you get a boundary. Like everything's about, oh no, sorry. Like I really need to take time to recharge. Like I'm not going to be able to make it to your birthday. Like, oh no, I know that this is going on for you, but like, I'm just really needing like time and don't be a fucking dick. But I do want you to keep your promises to yourself versus overextending yourself for other people just to be a people pleaser so you can maintain your image that you are likable. Okay? Because keeping your promises to yourself is how you are going to build this muscle of self-trust and self-respect over a long period of time. Number 6, Your triggers are showing you where you still abandon yourself. The things where you get defensive or you feel like you want to shut down or you want to run away or you want to blame or you want to play the victim or you want to take all the responsibility, the things that you are triggered about, that's like, oh my God, I just have this like disproportionate response or reaction to what's happening in front of me. These are the spaces where you still abandon yourself, and what I mean by abandon yourself is there's something within you that has not been healed. And rather than looking at it and taking a really honest reflection, which can be difficult, it's projecting onto the other person. You made me mad. You made me upset. You need to change your behavior. And we've all been guilty of this, but it's like, we need to actually take self-responsibility for our triggers. And when we stop abandoning ourselves, we can then, it's not that we don't ever get triggered, but we can actually maintain that connection with another person so that we're not overriding ourselves or completely dismissing the other person. Number 7, your patterns are not character flaws. They actually make perfect sense. Here's the thing. Since we were little children, all we are looking for, besides like shelter, food, water, being fed, all the things, all we're looking for is love, safety, and belonging. Okay? So at some point, you decided the things that would get you acceptance and the things that took acceptance away. And you decided to create personas around that. And this is something I go very deep into the Connected Woman, so I'm not going to go into it here. But through that, you develop patterns, right? So if you have a pattern of going for avoidant partners over and over and over, there's a reason for that, because you are recreating that same dynamic that you had as a child. And there's some reason that you benefit from that pattern. There is no pattern in your entire life, not one, that you don't benefit from in some way, shape, or form, okay? You are not a passive victim in this life. You are directly benefiting. It's just about excavating, how do I benefit from this pattern? So your patterns make sense, whether it's protecting you from a nervous system sense, you believe it's going to create safety, or it brings you comfort, or it brings you don't have to be responsible, or, like if, whatever it is, there's all of these reasons. So your patterns make complete sense. I remember when I was doing my coaching certification back in 2019 for sex, love, and relationships, we had to do these self-pleasure practices 5 days a week for nearly a year. And I was still stripping at the time. And so I would have these massive openings during these self-pleasure practices. And then I would go strip. And obviously I wasn't in like a very safe environment, or at least my body felt like I wasn't in a safe environment. So my nervous system would like collapse and I would fully close. And I was having this like open, close, open, close, open, close dynamic. And my teacher at the time was like, I actually want you to stop doing the practices. And like, it was a year-long program, but we had 2 years to finish. And I'm so glad that she said that, because she was like, I want you to stop doing the practices because it's actually doing more harm than good. And I was like, I'm just so frustrated with the fact that my nervous system keeps like shutting down on me and I keep closing when I'm doing all this work to open. And she was like, your nervous system is doing exactly what it's designed to do. You're in an unsafe environment. You're going to literally campsites in the middle of nowhere with like 30 dudes and you have no reception and you're the only woman there. Of course you're going to be closed. It would be silly of your nervous system to be like, la, 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 open, open, open. So your patterns make complete sense. They're not character flaws. Number 8, avoidance is information. Avoidance can be the things that we're like, I'm actually not a full yes to this. And so I'm procrastinating, I'm avoiding, I'm whatever, because it's actually not in alignment. But more often than not, it is in alignment, and we're actually just scared to take action because we don't know what's on the other side of that. So that could be starting a business where you're like, I don't know who I'm going to have to become, how responsible I'm going to have to become to be responsible for an entire business. That could be, I am avoiding doing the work in the Connected Woman or in the experience, or I'm avoiding even joining because I'm afraid that I'm going to lose my relationship, right? Now, just a little side note, if that's you, don't let that get in the way, because either, yes, your relationship does end, but you find something so much more impactful, which is a connection to yourself, or your relationship does a complete 180. So either way, it's a win-win. The amount of women that I have had come through my world over the years, and we've had over 1,000 women in the program, of like, I was so scared and I sat on this decision to join for years because I was so scared that my relationship was going to end. And now it's done a 180, or I was scared that it would end and it did. And I'm so much happier. And I didn't know that I could do that. So, avoidance is information. What is your avoidance actually telling you? Is your avoidance like there's actually a deeper, more vulnerable part that you're not looking at? So, let your avoidance be data rather than judging yourself for being avoidant. Actually, look at it from an objective sense. 9, your nervous system needs safety, not pressure. Yes, we can be disciplined. Yes, we can stick to things. Yes, we can give tough love. You guys know that I am all about tough love here. I'm not about coddling people and being like, oh my God, I know it's so hard and blah, 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 blah. But you do need to be gentle with your nervous system. You being a fucking drill sergeant and berating yourself through shame into change is never going to work. I asked this question the other day in one of my containers where I was like, if shame worked, I was like, okay, who shames themselves here? Every single person puts their hand up. Great. Has that ever worked for you in terms of getting you to change your behavior or a pattern? No. If shame worked to make you change, it would have worked by now. So berating yourself and calling yourself unlovable, unworthy, undeserving, you're not good enough, you're too much, all of these things, if those shame-based narratives would have worked, it would have worked by now, and it doesn't. So can you actually give yourself grace to just be a little bit more gentle with yourself and trust that you will still follow through with the things that you say you're going to do? Number 10, healing doesn't mean you never get triggered. It means you respond differently to your triggers. This is such a misconception where people are like, but I'm still getting triggered. I'm not healed. I'm like, one, when are we ever fucking like fully healed? But also like we're not broken. So that's a different conversation. But it's not, when you do shadow work, it's not the sense that you're never going to get triggered. The way I see shadow work, it's like kind of like whack-a-mole, where you might heal something in your relationships and then it comes up in your relationship with money, or it comes up in your relationship with your body, or it comes up in friendships or, career or whatever it is. And it's like boop, 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 boop. So it's going to keep coming up until it is fully looked at and fully resolved, right? So your triggers might become more infrequent where you're not having them as often, but you respond differently. You don't continue to respond in the way it's like getting defensive, shutting down, running away, blaming, deflecting, using humor as a defense mechanism, whatever it is, you respond differently and you're able to build your capacity to be in the moment and stay in connection with someone. And you can be with yourself throughout a trigger versus like, oh my God, I need to go have a glass of wine, or I need to go do this, or I need to go do that. You actually have the ability to stay with yourself. So it's not about never being triggered. It's about responding differently. Number 11, I don't listen to words. I watch behavior. So if I'm starting a new relationship, in a romantic relationship, or I'm starting a friendship with someone or whatever, I don't listen to what they're saying. I watch what they're doing. Okay? Because people will reveal themselves over time. No one can stay in this facade forever, which is why, when people have been through narcissistic relationships or abusive relationships, I was having this conversation with my partner the other day. I'm like, no one gets into an abusive relationship and their partner's abusive right off the bat. Like, they fall in love with this person because this person is probably charming and fun and loving and charismatic, or, whatever characteristics that you find attractive. And then over time, it starts to shift behind closed doors because they can't keep up the charade forever. So when you're dating, don't listen to people's words, or even if you're in a relationship and they just say, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I won't do it again, I'm going to change, I'm going to change. Are they changing? Are they doing things differently? Are they showing up differently? Are they taking accountability? Are they taking responsibility? Because if not, it's just a bunch of fucking yap. They're just yapping. Their mouth is moving, but nothing's actually fucking changing. So don't listen to people's words. Watch people's behaviors. That will reveal who they actually are. Number 12, over-explaining is self-abandonment. Okay, when you feel the need to like justify and over explain and oh, but here's what I meant and this and that and it's an inability to actually back yourself and stay with yourself. So, of course, in a relationship, you can give context, you can let people into your internal world and share this is where I was coming from and this is my intention and this is what I meant. But when you're like justifying and going overboard and oh my God, and no, please don't be mad at me and here's what I that's just abandoning yourself rather than standing in your truth. Because, like I've said a million times before, you can communicate in the best way possible. I could literally give you a fucking word for word script of what to say to someone, and they would still potentially receive it the wrong way. They could still receive it as a personal attack on them. So, that has nothing to do with you. You don't need to over explain. You need to stay with yourself and stay with the discomfort of someone being upset with you or angry or hurt or jealous or whatever it is. And not from a place of arrogance, but from a place of not abandoning yourself. 13. And this is, for me, this is from a human design perspective. If anyone's into human design and you're curious about my design, I am a 6-3 sacral authority generator. So there you go. So this is kind of for me, but if you're a generator or a mani-gen, you will resonate with this. If you're a projector, a reflector, or a manifester, you will have a different authority, or you will have a different, not authority, strategy. Sorry. Oh my God, I can't think of what, not self theme is what it's called, a not self theme. Anyways, if I feel constantly frustrated, something is out of alignment. Okay, because in my human design, my self theme, I think this is what it's called, right? Like when I'm in alignment, when everything is like, oh my God, yes, I feel satisfaction. I feel like, yes, I feel satisfied. I feel good. When I'm feeling frustrated, that is my sign something is out of alignment. So in 2026, I'm really looking at what are the things that frustrate me consistently. Of course, we're human, we get frustrated, right? But I'm talking about this one thing is consistently frustrating, or this one friendship is consistently frustrating, or my relationship is consistently frustrating me, or, whatever it is for you, looking at those things, whether it's a relationship, a friendship, could even be a fucking client, could be whatever. If that thing is frustrating you over and over and over again, it might be time to walk away from said thing. 14. Secure love feels calm, not intoxicating. Don't get me wrong, it's exciting. It feels good. You're excited to see this person. You miss them when they're not around. But it's not this like, oh my God, I can't be without you. Like, it's been 24 hours. I'm going to die if I don't see you. Like, I'm living my life. I'm happy. Yes, I miss you and also I've really enjoyed my time by myself or catching up with friends or whatever it is. So it's not this all-consuming love. Secure love feels calm. It feels grounded. Like I'm not questioning whether my partner wants to leave me or not. So that is the sign of security. If you are having to put into ChatGPT, what does this mean that he said? What are we doing? I love you with all due respect. What are we doing? Okay? Secure love is like grounded. You're not playing guessing games. You know where you stand. And you're not consumed by the love. You're just excited about it. 15. I would rather be alone than betray myself. That was a 2024 lesson for me, not so much 2025, because I did spend quite a bit of time by myself. It was like, what, 8 months? 9 months that I spent on my own. And honestly, if it came to it, my relationship is wonderful, but if it came to it of like, if I have to consistently betray myself, would I rather stay just to be in a relationship or would I rather be alone? I will choose being alone every single time. Every single time. I fucking love my own company. I could spend endless amounts of time by myself. I really could. So that's the thing. People are so afraid of being alone that they're like, I will rather betray myself, abandon myself, go against what I know to be true just to stay in a relationship so that I don't have to be alone with my feelings. That is no way to live, my girl. That really is no way to live. We need to build the capacity to be with ourselves and fall in love with our lives. Like fucking romanticize your life. Like if you don't want to spend time with you, why the fuck would anyone else want to spend time with you? Create a life that you love so that you want to spend time with you. Okay? Number 16, your body knows before your mind does. So when we are triggered, our body has a response milliseconds before our brain does. So we think that someone says something and we are triggered. Oh my God, I can't believe they said that. That's so rude. Why would they say that? Um, they think that I'm lazy. They think that I'm this, I'm that. But before that story happens, the body happens. So you'll recognize you get triggered and your like body tenses, or you feel heat, or you feel like a lump in your throat, or you feel like you want to cry or whatever. That actually happens milliseconds before the thoughts ring in. Okay. Now, the same is the opposite. When like an opportunity is presented to you, or there's something, it could be a relationship, you're on a date, who cares, whatever it is, and you feel a yes, you'll feel that in your body. So it's about building the skill of recognizing the language of the body. And people struggle with this in the beginning when I'm talking about embodiment, because they're like, I feel nothing. And I'm like, okay, but that's like if you were, born in whatever in Canada and you've only ever spoken English, and I'm like, okay, great. I want you to be fluent in Japanese now. Go. You'd be like, I don't know how to speak Japanese. I don't know, right? So it's the same thing. You're learning the language of the body, and that takes time to understand what sensations are, where you feel them, what sensations you feel when, what a yes feels like, what a no feels like, what anger feels like, what sadness feels like, what anxiety feels like. Not just like, oh my God, I feel anxious, but like actually in the body, what does that feel like? So your body knows before your mind does. And what we want to do is build that relationship so that you can actually start to trust your body, so you're not just coming from your logical mind all of the time. 17, rest is productive when it is intentional. So, we talk about the soft girl life, and I love a soft girl life, right? I really do. I am meant to be on a pool floaty, sipping a cocktail. That is the life that has been made for me. But we can take the rest thing too far when we're like, oh, I'm just tired. I need to rest. Oh, I don't feel like doing that. I need to rest. Oh, I need to rest. I need to rest. I need to rest. When it's like, actually, if you are intentional about your rest, then you can be intentional about the times where you're on, and you can be intentional about the times that you're focused. So look at when you are resting, what are you actually doing? Are you reading a book? Are you in a hammock? Are you just zoning out and watching Netflix? Sometimes that is restful, and sometimes it's actually just you numbing out and checking out of your life. So make your rest intentional. If you're the woman who has consumed all of my podcast episodes and other podcasts, and you've read the self-help books, and you have done little masterclasses, and you've dabbled here and there, but you still keep repeating the same patterns in your love life and in friendships and in money and all of the things, and you're like, fuck, why do I keep doing this? I need to put you onto something. That is the Awakening Retreats. They're happening in January 2026, and they are the place where you get to actually transcend this behavior and finally get to do something different. So, your first retreat is going to be Awakening Her, and this is where you are connecting to your feminine energy, your pleasure, your devotion, your joy, your ecstasy, your rage, your grief, all of these pieces. So you get to live in totality of the woman that you are. And also, you're going to have an opportunity to heal your relationship with women, because the more I work with women, the more I realize how many women have felt betrayed by other women, almost more than they have felt betrayed by men. And you're really focusing on healing your relationship to yourself, to your body, to your sexuality, to your joy, to your confidence, to your insecurities, all of the things. And then your second retreat is Awakening Him. And this is where we're anchoring into your masculine energy. So your relationship to responsibility and integrity, following through on the things that you say that you're going to do, discipline, discernment, direction, all of these things, and healing your relationship with men as well as then bringing this into a focus of how do you then bring this into relationships. So everything that you learned at Awakening Her and about expansion and emotional expression and all of these things, how do you then hold that containment and bring that into your romantic relationships and your friendships? And that is really the focus of Awakening Him. You can choose to do either or, but I've designed them to go together as a pair, and that is what most women who have decided to do the retreats have chosen to do. I do want to say these are the last retreats that I'm going to be running. If you've been saying, oh, I'll go to the next one, or when you come to the States, I'll do it. I'm never running one in the States. I can tell you that right now. And I'm not running more retreats in the future. This is your time. Make a fucking holiday out of it. Come to Australia. Most of the women who have signed up are coming from the US, which is very cool. DM me on Instagram if you have any questions. Otherwise, the link will be in the description. I cannot wait to see you there. Let's get back to the episode. Number 18, your environment affects your mood. If you are anything like me, I'm a Virgo, my environment really affects my mood. So if there is shit everywhere and it's cluttered and there's like mess and all the things, my internal mind, I'm like, oh my God, I can't focus. So something that has been a priority for me for years was to hire a cleaner. So she used to come fortnightly, now she comes weekly. And it's like, that to me is such a good investment for my money. Like if you have the funds to be able to do that, I understand that I'm coming from a place of privilege, but like if you have the funds to be able to do that, I fucking highly recommend that you do, because it just takes such a weight off. And I know like Tuesdays are my favorite day because I'm like, it's so clean. Everything is so sparkling. It just feels so fucking good. So that, and me making sure that I'm doing a tidy every day or whatever. And on the days that I miss it, I feel it. I'm like, oh my God, I don't feel good. I need to keep my environment clean. And my environment also means my car, keeping my car clean. My environment also means my friendship circle. It means the places that I am visiting, right? So like, I love the gym that I go to. It has a recovery center. So it has like a sauna, steam room, like spa pools and cold plunge pools. And like, I love that because that is so vibey to me. That's like, I love that environment. I make sure that I take myself to, even though I have that, I take myself to like this really nice bathhouse and I go by myself, and then I have lunch and a cocktail and like all the things. And I do that regularly. So my environment affects my mood so much. So put yourself in environments or take care of your environment so that you can stay in a high vibration and a high frequency. Number 19, pleasure is medicine. Okay. So pleasure is a regulation tool. And now when people hear the word pleasure, they think masturbating. And I'm like, yeah, cool. That is, that is helpful. Like, absolutely. But pleasure is that warm cup of coffee in the morning, or feeling the sun on your skin, or getting out and seeing, the beautiful trees, or hearing the birds chirping, or listening to your favorite song, or cuddling up with your cat or your dog. Like that is pleasure as well. Or even just, stroking your legs, or just like stroking your arms or whatever, or giving yourself a hug, like just doing something to give yourself pleasure. That is a regulation tool in and of itself. We're like, oh my God, I don't want to do that. That's weird. That takes too much effort. If it's too much fucking effort for you to put your hands on your body and like literally squeeze your arms, or for you to like run your fingers over your legs, like I don't know what to fucking tell you. You do not care about your healing if you cannot even be fucked to do that. And I say that with so much love because it's like, are we actually doing the bare minimum, right? So pleasure is medicine, and pleasure can be the greatest regulation tool of all time to build your nervous system capacity. Number 20, if you are disconnected from your body, you're disconnected from your truth. Your truth lies inside of your body. And I don't just mean the impulses of like, I feel angry, I feel shame, oh my God, this must mean I shouldn't do this, oh, I shouldn't be with this person. Like I said, I was getting like regular panic attacks when I first started dating my partner, right? Because it was like, oh my God, this is so overwhelming. This is like overwhelming in the sense of like, I don't have to caretake you. I don't have to look after you. You're not making me responsible for your emotions. I don't have to do all these things. What do I do? And I had to really regulate through that, through safety with her, through, like just being with her and being open and being vulnerable. But your body knows the truth. My body knew this, like, oh, this is new. It's actually funny because it's like if I had no response to being with her, it's almost a sense of like I'm in a pattern again because this feels so familiar. So your body knows the answer. You can, and again, if you're a sacral authority for human design, you're going to listen to your and those like initial yes or initial no. You can trust that, right? If you're an emotional authority, you're going to ride your wave. You're going to give yourself 24 hours. You're going to sleep on it, right? Splenic authority, something different. So it's like there's a whole thing. I'm not a human design expert, so you can go do that for yourself. But yeah, it's like your body knows best. Number 21, doing less, but doing it better creates more momentum. So we have this epidemic, and I so have been guilty of this. We have this epidemic of people being super busy, right? Where it's like, oh my God, I'm so busy. I'm so busy. I'm so busy. Okay, but what have you actually achieved? I'll wait. Like, what have you actually achieved? Because we just stay stuck in shit that doesn't actually move the needle. Okay, great. You're watching the course modules, but have you implemented them? Have you done the embodiment practices? You've listened to what, 232 episodes of this podcast. Are you still repeating the same patterns? It's about implementation. So it's not about having 1,000,001 courses or having 17 different tasks on your plate. It's like, take your 3 top things for the day and get them done. Like, honestly, when I take myself to the cafe and I just work for 2 hours straight, because people talk about, like, I think it's the Pomodoro method, where it's like you work for 25 minutes and then you take a 5-minute break. I cannot do that because I'm like, at 25 minutes, I'm just getting into it. So I would prefer to work for like 2 to 3 hours straight and then I'm done. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm good. I'm tapped out because I'm focused. So this is the thing. It's like, rather than having your energy scattered amongst a bunch of different things, it's can you dial in and be laser focused on the things that are actually going to move the needle? So that might be an embodiment practice every single day. And that could be literally one song of sensual movement. It could be you having a difficult conversation. It could be you setting a boundary. It could be you posting a piece of content. It could be you recording an episode of a podcast, whatever it is. But it's like, do the thing that's going to actually move the needle versus, and I'm just going to take business as an example, where people are like, I'm starting a business, so I'm like picking my brand colors and I'm doing my logo. Nobody gives a fuck about your logo. No one cares about your fucking brand colors. No one cares about your website. I didn't have a website for years. Like, nobody cares. Nobody cares. Do something that's going to move the needle. Get a fucking client. That's what you need to be doing. I love you. 22, clarity comes after action, not before. And this is something I've really learned from my partner because, like I've said, she's an Aries. She just moves. And I'm like, wow. Versus for me, I'm like, oh my God, okay, so like I need to know the whole game plan before I get started. That's how I've like traditionally been. And she's like, no, just start. Just start, just do it. And I'm like, okay. And then as I get going, I'm like, oh, I have more clarity. So even, even when women come into the Connected Woman and they're doing the modules, it'll be like module 1 or module 2. And they're like, okay, but how do I change the pattern? And I'm like, just witness yourself in the pattern. Trust that you've got 13 more modules that are going to give you the answers. But just trust that it's like, right now, I'm just going to stay in taking action and I'm going to trust that clarity is going to come. I remember this from The Secret. You guys remember that book and that movie? Came out when I was in high school. So it must have been like maybe 2006-ish. And I remember this guy talking about how, imagine yourself on the freeway and there's no lights at all, but you've got your headlights on, right? So you can only see 200 meters in front of you. You don't stop driving because you're like, oh my God, I can only see 200 meters in front of me. Like, what if there's no road? You keep driving and you trust that as you travel further, the next 200 meters will be shown, and then the next 200 meters, and then the next 200 meters, and then the next 200 meters. And you could go all the way from New York to California doing that, right? So that's what I mean by clarity comes through taking action, not waiting for clarity to come first. 23, you don't need to be ready. You need to be honest. And again, I know I'm talking about the connected woman a lot, but this is just like, it just like relates to so many patterns that I see in there, which is, again, like I've shared, a few times, that people wait 2-3 years to join because they're like, oh my God, how am I going to change? How am I going to need to show up differently to get the thing that I say that I want? And here's the thing. If you really, really, really want something truly, almost nothing will stop you. If you actually don't really want that thing, almost everything will stop you. Money, time, the time zone. I need it to be live. I need it to be self-paced. I've got kids. Now's not a good time. I'm busy. I am going to wait for the next round. Almost anything will stop you. Whereas if you really want to change your patterns, almost nothing will fucking get in your way. And that is really the difference. It's where it's not about being ready. It's about being fucking honest. Do you want it or not? If the answer is no, that's okay. But be honest with yourself. Stop waiting for the perfect time on whatever that is. Getting back into the dating scene, having a baby, quitting your job, starting a business, starting a podcast, breaking up, getting a divorce, breaking up in your relationship, moving to another country, whatever your thing is, it's not about being ready. It's about being honest. 24, structure actually gives your feminine room to breathe. This is something people overlook all the time when they come into feminine embodiment, and they're like, oh, I'm just in my feelings and I want to feel, and I just want to frolic, and no, I need to rest, and I'm just going to go with the flow. Do you know how much fucking chaos that creates if you don't have a healthy masculine? This is why I decided to do 2 retreats, by the way, because I was like, okay, cool, I'm connecting women to their feminine, but like, what about the masculine? You need structure. You need containment. You need direction. That is what helps the feminine to feel safe to flow, right? If we're with a man who has no fucking direction and is just like, la, 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 I'll go with the flow, what do we usually do? Great. I'll be the one to fucking plan everything. I'll be the one to figure things out. Versus we're with a man or a partner who has masculine energy, who leads and takes the lead, is like driving the ship. We're like, oh, I feel like I can fully relax now. And so that's the same thing with ourselves, where when we have direction and we have structure, that helps us to relax. Like, I'm being so much more intentional and organized in my business in 2026 because that allows me to then be in my creativity. It allows me to be more present with my partner. It allows me to like be present with my friends because I'm not worried about like, oh fuck, like I've got to get this email out. I've got to do this thing. Like, no, I'm going to be laser focused on getting things done that are required. And then I can fully relax and be in my flow. So structure actually allows your feminine to flow more easy. That's not the right word. It allows your feminine to flow easier. 25. The life you desire requires a different version of you. The version you currently are has given you the life you currently have, the relationships you have, what's in your bank account, the business or the career that you have, the friendships that you have, the relationship to your body that you currently have, your home, your environment, everything has been because of the version that you currently are and the versions of you that you have been. If you want something else, you have to evolve your identity and your self-concept. You have to evolve how you show up in the world. You have to evolve who you are. You have to evolve your behaviors, your thoughts, your mindset, your connection to your body, your connection to yourself. It's going to require a different version of you. And that's not to scare you, that's to excite you. And this is the thing. This is the difference. I'm going to be so honest, and you can, if you feel triggered by this, well, I love you. The people who succeed in life, however you want to take that, they are the people who are not scared of stepping into a different version of themselves. They are the people who are willing to evolve. The people who stay stuck and stay in victim mode are the people who become intimidated by the next version of themselves and they back away and they're like, no, I'm not willing to do what's required. And if that's you, cool, but get comfy where you are. If you want something different, you have to evolve your identity. And finally, lesson 26, and this is something for me and hopefully for you. I am no longer available for a life that looks good but feels wrong. Let that land. I'm not available for a life that looks good but feels wrong. I want to live my life in alignment. And if that means I am fucking ruthless with what needs to go and ruthless in the pursuit of my desires and my goals, then so fucking be it. Because I am no longer willing to stay in relationships or business ideas or containers or something out of obligation or out of feeling guilty or out of shame or feeling some sort of loyalty. I'm like, cool, when I feel complete, I'm complete. And that doesn't mean that I'm like, I don't love you. We can love someone and still know this isn't right for me. So welcome to 2026. I'm so excited to spend another year with you guys. If you are ready to take that next step, if you're like, I fucking hear you, and this whole episode landed for me, it's time to join the Connected Woman. It's time to get your ass in the room. Enough talking, enough yapping, enough listening to the podcast or reading books or whatever it is. It's time to actually step into the identity of a woman who is secure within herself, in her relationships. Whether you're single or you're in a relationship or you're married or you're going through a divorce, it is irrelevant because it's about your connection to yourself. So if you know that I'm speaking to you and all your fucking excuses are coming up right now and your ego is like, but, who are you going to decide to be in this moment? I cannot wait for this next round of the Connected Woman. I'm so excited to get into it. I love you guys so much. Thank you for listening to this, and I will see you guys next week. Happy 2026. Happy New Year, my loves. Bye. All right, my love, thank you so much for listening to today's podcast episode. Take what resonates and leave the rest. There is no obligation, but you do have a responsibility to yourself to actually do the work. So implement what you have learned here. Let this episode be a reminder that you are built for more. You are not built for the bare minimum. You are not built for mediocre. You are meant to live a big, beautiful, bold life. And if you want to go deeper, come follow me over on Instagram at Michelle Panning. The link will be in the description. That is where I share all the behind the scenes content, and you will get to follow me and my journey as I raise my standards alongside you. So I love you. I believe in your next level, and I will see you in the next episode. Now go unfuck your life, babe.